Carlisle Call and One Pursuit are racing prominently. Then follows Damascus Symphony and Madison Square is the back marker. They've gone through the first quarter of a mile. See the Storm, Sheepskin Noseband just in front of Residence and Spa. And then follows up on the outside Retreat Content, racing alongside Philharmonic Call with One Pursuit between the pair. Damascus Symphony a length behind them, and Madison Square remains the back marker as they run towards the top of the hill and turn right-handed. Out in front is See the Storm, who's moved away from Residence and Spa to lead by 3 parts of a length. They're being chased a length back by Retreat Content as they approach the final 4.5 furlongs. One Pursuit is travelling well in 4th. Then follows Philharmonic Call, who's beginning to struggle now, dropping back towards the tail of the field, and has been overtaken by both Madison Square and Damascus Symphony. See the Storm, the leader, as they race inside the final 3.5 furlongs. Residence and Spa in second. One Pursuit now shaken up, taking third on the inside of Retreat Content. Madison Square's 2 lengths behind. The other 2, Damascus Symphony and Philharmonic Call, have lost touch completely. Just over a quarter of a mile to go. See the Storm is galloping on strongly in front and has kicked away now from One Pursuit on the inside, who's second, and having to switch round the leader. Residence and Spa is next. Madison Square is picking up down the outside, and One Pursuit has mastered See the Storm inside the final furlong. Madison Square is 3 lengths to find on the new leader. One Pursuit clear, well inside the final furlong. Madison Square is a clear second best and drawing away from the others, but the finale will go to One Pursuit under Shirley Teasdale. Madison Square up for second, and then came Philharmonic Call and See the Storm in front of Retreat Content and Residence and Spa.
Well done to Danny Nichols, particularly well done to Shirley Teasdale. Gave a One Pursuit a good ride, and Adrian Nichols was just stood with us for a second here while this race set off. He had to get into the paddock then because he's riding in our last, but he was just saying how what a good rider Shirley Teasdale is. Now she's got 1 on the board for her relatively new boss. She might well add to that score. She's ridden a good race here on One Pursuit, and the pace here was a pretty generous one, Mark.
It was quite a generous pace. Yes, See the Storm was prominent. Residence and Spa, who was dropping in distance, having been racing over 1.5 miles. He was never far off the gallop either. The winners travelled smoothly. One Pursuit, first time that Shirley Teasdale's ridden the horse in public. He's travelled very, very strongly throughout the contest. There was a point about 2 out when the leader See the Storm pushes a 2 or 3 length advantage. You think it's going to be very difficult to pick up, but once One Pursuit gets into top gear, he's run on really strongly. That's his first win on the turf. He's backed up those early wins at Southwell earlier in the season. Good performance from him. And Madison Square, who connections appear to be experimenting with him trip-wise, he's stayed on strongly, but was never going to pick up the leader.
Philharmonic Call just seemed all at sea around that bottom bend, lost his place, went back to last, and basically him and another just lose touch with the bulk of the field for a little while. You can see him there plumb last, stays on to Nick a third, under plenty of driving, has to be said, from Paul Hannigan. But Shane B. Kelly goes for home now on See the Storm, and just doesn't have the horse under him.
He doesn't, ultimately he doesn't, but you think at this point it's going to be very difficult to reel in. Residence as far as come under pressure. He's just turning out to be a really disappointing horse where he takes up that engagement over hurdles later in the week. Time will tell, but One Pursuit's just about got the winner in his sights now. He's taken charge and he's not going to be picked up from this point. And those coming out of the pack, Madison Square's run on to grab second place. And you mentioned Philharmonic Call, who was up to a really hard ride for Paul Hannigan. Fair play to Paul, he's kept at him and he's responded and he's run on to get a never near a third.
Yeah, he's made up a fair bit of ground later on. He never got anywhere within sniffing distance of the first 2, but considering he'd lost touch with the whole, virtually all the other runners.